Welcome to After I Turned 18, a podcast about the real stories that unfold once we cross that so-called line into adulthood. Because turning 18 doesn't mean the stories end, it's when things really begin. This is my story. After I turned 18 and graduated high school, I decided not to go to college. It wasn't that I didn't think I was smart enough. I just didn't feel like it was my path. I wanted to work. I wanted to start building my life in my own way, on my own terms, so I got a job in a warehouse. It was not glamorous, but it was honest work. I made money. I made good friends for a while. Things felt stable. Things felt okay. I was learning what it meant to be independent, to show up every day, to rely on myself. That's when I met him, my son's father. We met at the races of all places. It was casual, loud cars, loud music, people showing off. We didn't jump into anything serious right away. We were just friends. But over time, that friendship became more. He was older than me, more confident. At the time, I thought I was just having fun. I wasn't thinking long term. I wasn't thinking future. I was just living. We were on and off for about 3 years, sometimes close, sometimes distant. It wasn't perfect, not by a long shot. But at the time, it felt familiar. It felt like something. And then I found out I was pregnant. I remember that day like it's stamped into my skin. I took the test, looked down, and my whole world slowed down. 2 lines, positive. My heart was racing, my hands were shaking. I sat in silence for what felt like hours. I wasn't ready. He definitely wasn't ready. And when I told him, he begged me not to keep it. Please, he said, you can't do this. It's not the right time. Just get an abortion. I listened to him talk, trying to convince me to erase something I hadn't even fully processed yet. And then I said quietly, but clearly, you don't have to worry about being there. I'll do it on my own. After that conversation, I got in my car. I didn't drive anywhere. I just sat, tears streaming down my face, alone. I stared out the windshield empty, not because I didn't know what to do, but because deep down, I did know, and that knowing was heavy. Then something happened. I heard a car pull up behind me, and it was my brother. He must have seen me parked there, upset. He came up to my window and said, "What's wrong?" I looked at him, barely able to speak, and then I said it. "I'm pregnant." He didn't panic. He didn't lecture me. He just nodded like he'd already accepted it and said, "Everything's going to be fine." That moment, it broke me and saved me at the same time. I still had my mom, then, God rest her soul, and my dad. And now here I was, 20 and pregnant with my son. There were so many feelings at once: shame, fear, uncertainty. But beneath all of that was quiet kind of strength. Was a quiet kind of strength. A whisper that said, "You can do this." I didn't have a partner. I didn't have a mapped out plan, but I had a heartbeat inside me and I had a choice, and I chose him. I chose to bring him into this world, not because it was easy, not because I had it all figured out, but because I believed in myself, in him, and in the life we could build together. Being a mom isn't glamorous. There were days I felt like I was drowning in loneliness, in doubt, in the bills. Thank God for my mom and my dad. There were moments I broke down in the shower so no one would hear me cry, but there were also moments when I held my son and everything made sense. When I watched him smile and knew I had made the right decision. When I realized I didn't ruin my life, I saved it. After I turned 18, I didn't go to college. I didn't follow the usual path. I chose to work. I chose to love. I chose to be a mother, and I choose it again. If you're listening to this and you're facing something hard, something unexpected, something that feels bigger than you, just know you are not weak for being scared. You're not wrong for choosing your own path, and you are not alone. You are becoming, even when it feels like you're breaking. Thank you for listening to After I Turned 18. This was my first episode, my story. If it touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And come back next time for another truth, another journey, another voice. Until then, stay brave, stay open, and always remember your story matters.